Hey fellas, before we start, just wanted to say thank you for all the support and kind wishes on the NPC video. Thank you all very much for checking in on me, and the family is blown away by the amount of support that's been coming in. We are still actively working on a charity stream in NPC's honor, and I hope to have more details on that in the coming weeks. For now, though, I hope you enjoy this interview with Hiruko Shizuhara's VA from 100 Line, Minh Ton.
Why is Ato in jail? Why is he in gay
He's
baby
he's wor-
jail?
he's
Come
working on
on.
himself. He's working on himself. Let's go with that. Hey, what's going on, everybody? For definitely not First We Feast, but kind of inspired by First We Feast, I'm not Sean Evans. My name is Nuke, and today we're joined by Minh Ton. They're the voice of Hiruko Shizuhara in 100 Line Last Defense Academy, a candidate for many people's Game of the Year, and you can also hear them in other media like World of Tanks, Genshin Impact, and Euden Chronicle 100 Heroes. Minh, welcome to the show. Can you even, call this a show, though?
I mean, it's a little thing on the internet people are watching, so I guess it is a show.
I guess so. And, I was thinking we get hot wings, but, so this would be kind of like hot ones, but I hate spicy food, and I read in the game that Hiruko also hates spicy food, so I think we'll just go ahead and skip that.
Pretty good choice.
Yeah. So I know you worked as a voice actor in a bunch of Danganronpa fan games like Shattered Hope and Danganronpa Dedication. And I find it really fascinating that you had the ease in going from working on an indie title to a AAA title like 100 Line. Can you explain in layman's terms how your older Fangan experiences influenced your work on a proper Kodaka game?
I mean, I think the Fangan work that I used to do was like a really good experience to have just to improve my acting, improve like voice acting etiquette, and just get confident behind the mic. And it has been quite a few years since I've done any Fangans. Um, I think like the last one I really recorded was like 2020-ish. So it has been quite a while. But ever since then, I've just continued honing my craft with other indie games, other smaller titles, and building up studio work with some of my bigger credits as well. And I think all of that has just culminated into being as ready as I can be for this role.
Perfect. In 2020, during the COVID year, a lot of people were, on the internet, and Danganronpa actually had kind of a bit of a resurgence in 2020, especially on TikTok and YouTube and all that. And so with that, I know you're a big fan of the Danganronpa series. Obviously, if you voiced in a couple fangans, I would assume you're a pretty big fan. And when you think about all the unique characters in that series, I imagine there has to be one that stood out to you from the actual mainline series games. That one that's maybe stood out to you or maybe even influenced how you voiced Hiruko, given they're created by the same group of people. So when you look back at that cast, is there a character that still lingers in your mind, and what do you think it is about them that stuck with you?
I mean, I think the one that like definitely stuck out the most was probably Sakura from the first one. I mean, her entire story arc, all the way until I guess spoilers, chapter 4. I mean, why are you here if you don't know the first Danganronpa? Like spoilers up to like chapter 4. Like she went through so much. Um, and her whole like emotional arc throughout the games, starting off as a sort of like tropia character, building and building, developing as the chapters and trials went on until her ultimate demise. Uh,
Rest in peace.
Amazing. Yes, rest in peace. Um, just an amazingly well-written character. Though I definitely do think she was not a big inspiration for Hiroko. For Hiroko, like definitely it was probably like Peko and Kirumi Tojo from V3 that probably inspired Hiroko a bit more, like vocally and emotionally for me.
Got it. And, obviously, Hiruko is one of the most popular characters in 100 Line. And so I feel like with a lot of voice actors that I've talked to, or, they've started with small passion projects or maybe even like anime fan dubs before they ever booked a pro gig, do you think that the grassroots route is more common than people realize? And if so, was there anything you learned from Fangan culture that people in the professional world might overlook?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna be hitting like the new stride, the new generation of voice actors coming through at the moment, especially with all the new crunchy dubs. Like we're seeing a lot more new faces, especially after COVID. Casts have definitely diversified one way or another with new faces, some people that you may have only seen in a few things finally getting the limelight they deserve. Um, I definitely think a lot of these newer faces have come up from sort of the internet scene. Even some of the ones in Hundred Line themselves. Not all of them are like theatre people, as most of the cast are. Some of them grew up doing voices for Newgrounds and stuff like that. Um, so like a lot of the internet culture is being brought into current video games, which is really good because we're now getting actors who also play games. They can draw from other inspirations other than just the basic sort of theatre fundamentals that a lot of the older actors grew up on and were taught. As a lot of older voice acting definitely comes from people who are already in the acting scene.
Right, and you're talking to somebody who did improv comedy for a year and somebody who was in theater for 1 year, so totally understand that. So I'm good friends with
Perfect.
Lina Kibara, the director of Kumatante, and they announced recently that you're going to be voicing Shigure Ogasawara, one of my favorite characters. And it was really funny to me because, like Hiruko, that's also like a no BS character, and they're purple hair. So are there any certain character types that you just like to voice, or are the roles you take on completely random?
I mean, I was not vying for Shigure when I first auditioned. I was hoping to get the plastic surgeon. I
Erika
can't believe
Hakure,
that
yeah,
name, everyone.
yeah.
There we go.
Nix's favorite.
Yeah.
Nix would kill me if I didn't know that. So yeah.
Yeah, but no, it really depends on voice type because, like, if anything, I have a wide range, but most of the time I will be getting cast for something that's closer to my natural, give or take, higher, lower, breathier, raspier. But I always fit sort of lower end female range with a bit more husk, or younger male range with that sort of boyish rasp to it. So like you're gonna hear me as those characters the most, but I think I'm starting to get a sort of typecast for like sort of battle hardened, very like tough female characters that also might have a bit of a an ego complex about them. Who knows?
No, not at all. Hiruko doesn't have that at all. What are you talking about? Also, Lena, I DM'd Lena I was gonna do this, and they wanted me to ask you this. If you had to pick a dinosaur, which one would you say is your favorite?
Oh, I have an answer to this because I was a dinosaur kid.
Really?
I was the Tyrannosaurus Rex kid, but my favorite dinosaur is I think it's Plesiosaur. It's the one with like the big horn at the back, the herbivore.
Only
That,
the best
yeah.
questions on this show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, like you got a great one for me. I love dinosaurs, so.
Perfect, perfect. So with respect to voice acting, I think there might be people out there who think that it's just like doing voices when you and I both know that's not the case at all. There's a real emotional range involved, especially in a game like 100 Line. Was there any moment recording Hiruko that hit harder than expected?
Oh, spoiler alert for people who have not gotten through the novel that is this game.
The 6 novels.
I guess.
Yeah.
I will say the route I'm spoiling. It's the killing game route, everyone. Skip if you need to. It's the scene on the roof with Hiruko, how she's bonded with Darumi and is explaining to Takumi why Darumi is the way that she is. And I found that scene so well written, so sweet. It hits home. I've had friends, I've had people who have dealt with a lot of issues like that before, and I could really draw upon my own experiences of just being that sort of listener, because I do tend to be the person that people like talk to the most, just because I listen a lot. But yeah, no, just that whole scene was so well done, and then to actually see it was like really, really lovely.
Yeah, they did a great job with like I think the emotionalness of it. That was one of my favorite scenes. I love Darumi. She's one of my favorites. So yeah, that was one of my favorites too. You have great taste. Also, continuing with 100 Line, was there ever a moment during recording the game, or even at any point during your career, that made you stop and go like, "What the hell did I just read off this script?"
Oddly enough, not Cult of Takumi route. That one was interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the route's actually pretty good, but in the sense of it's supposed to be uncomfortable, and they really
Yeah.
did hit that very well. Um, no, that CG was like fine for me. I actually had the director. He actually played like he blasted Bossa Nova into my headphones while we recorded that scene, because it was pretty much just Hiruko talking. So that was just we tried to keep it lighthearted, while still keeping the uncomfiness of it. But no, I, I mean, I didn't do much on the comedy route, but I feel like I definitely would have had a reaction to the comedy route a little bit, because that one was just kind of ridiculous. But no, I think, like, if anything, 100 Line definitely had some moments where I was like, what the heck is happening? Because to give context to anyone, we did not read through the script all the way through. We just jumped around to all the voice sections, and in that game there'll be massive like days where there won't be any voice section. So there was a lot of jumping around, a lot of battle to battle to battle. And a lot of it was kind of insane because it'd just be like localizer or Tokyo Games or Tokyo Games on call, just being like, all right, so in this scene, XYZ has happened, and I'm like, cool, record, let's go. Sure.
So I know like actors will go to extreme lengths to accurately portray their characters, and you've now voiced a couple of morally great characters. Do you find yourself bringing any part of them into your everyday life, or do you just mentally drop the character as soon as you're done and out of the recording booth?
I think I've been pretty vocal at some cons that I've done where I am not full method acting. I'm very much a substitution actor. Taking the sort of feeling of a scene or a character and then trying to morph like a smaller, less extreme version of myself and my experiences and turning that into the character, as opposed to trying to live as exactly like the character as possible, because that just brings on a lot of trauma responses that I don't think anyone should deal with, really. But I mean, I can be a devious person here and there. I enjoy a bit of mischief.
Yeah, you tell people to show them your insides. Exactly. Many people do this.
Common thing I say to everyone I meet, really.
Many such cases. In 100 Line, each route has its own share of emotions it wants the player to feel, so I'm curious how you prepared for the range of scenarios that could have happened, and was there any route, I know you mentioned the killing game route, was there any route that resonated with you on a personal level, other than the killing game route?
Yeah, I mean, massive spoilers, obviously. I mean, again, why are you here if you've not played the game at this point?
We could just assume people like the game if they're here.
Play the game, guys. Yeah, I mean, the different emotions, I mean, the way we recorded it was, we recorded the first 100 days. I was brought in really early because Hiruko speaks a lot at the start. Then I had like a 2-week break, and I was like, okay, whatever. I'll come back in. Because we were on such a crunch. We recorded this around we started in September and ended around December of last year. And to say that the localizers weren't even done localizing all the scripts by the time the first script came in, we were doing it script by script as soon as they came in, because I think there was a lot of faff going on with choosing which localization studio it was going to go with. The auditions came out literally the start of last year, and then we had complete silence all the way into the end of summer. So I think we were just in a big sort of mad rush to get to the end. But yeah, we just jumped around routes, so there was nothing preparing me for the tonal shifts in this. I would just had to go with it on the fly. And for a route that really stuck out to me, it has to be the SF route, the steady fundamental route, because I mean it's mostly a Hiruko Takumi route. It's a save everyone route, and I think the sort of emotional sort of evolution Hiruko has to go from the start of that route of being the one in charge to trying her hardest to break the loop is kind of it was so lovely to explore that and have it sort of stick out to me, is because I am someone who does like to try and fix everything, even if I can't. I am a very worrisome person. I worry for all my friends a lot when anything goes wrong.
You and I
So-
are very much alike in that, so no worries at all in there. Was there a route, I'm just curious, was there a route where you were just like, this is the worst shit ever? Like, reading the script, was there just like, this one's not going to be fun by the player base?
Oh, the box is a blessing.
Yeah.
That was so tedious to record as well.
Really? You wanna-
Yeah, because all the voice sections were just like, oh, let's pick a box. Okay, next box, time to go again. And it's just like, I got so lost on that route. Like, we dubbed it the Dragon Ball Z route, like, while we were recording. We were like, this is the Dragon Ball Z route at this point, and I was just like, great, cool. And then Veshness comes back again and kills another person. I'm like, cool, great, what next? And it was just like the smallest scenes, but just kept coming, and I was like, hey, cool, whatever. But that route was like long.
Yeah, I 100%ed the game a couple days ago, and I can't even remember a single goddamn thing from Blessings or Calamity, so totally okay on that. So, you know, we're talking about endings here. I know you mentioned the SF and the killing game routes. With all the works Kodaka is known for, do you think that a game wherein the characters suffer, or there's a bittersweet ending, is it more rewarding to voice than a game that had every character survive and be happy?
I mean, I'm someone who doesn't mind if people die, as long as it's like a fulfilling death. Wait, that's really weird out of context. I don't mind a game where characters die for plot reasons. As long as it's like fulfilling for the character, and I do think that second scenario was so emotional to record. It was so well done, and I recently got there with, well, my partner's playing it while I watch, because everyone wants to stream the game to me, so I hate replaying stuff again and again, so if I have to see those first 100 days again for like the 5th time, I think I'll cry. But that's why I'm not playing it myself. I'm just watching everyone play at me. But yeah, me and my partner just got to second scenario, and it was so amazing. The character sacrifices were well worth the payoff, and I think if it's right for the story, I would prefer a game where characters die to further on the plot and character overarching sort of storylines, as opposed to a very happy everyone lives, even though that
Just
is
like
the
in the game where you have the anime school, like in the like where everyone's being like the audio's
Yeah.
playing, that basically like that, exactly.
yeah.
Surely everyone's gonna be fine in that route.
Mm-hmm.
So continuing with 100 line, Hiruko mentions in game that she wouldn't mind having multiple partners. So I'm curious if I could bounce some of the most popular pairings from 100 line off of you, and we can do kind of like a ship or skip. How does that sound?
Yeah, sure. Go on.
So if you just want to give me like your thoughts on each and like what what
Yeah.
your thoughts are, and like. So one of my friends loves this one, Takumi and Hiruko.
Yeah, ship. Like, come on, the SF route is there. It like, you can tell Uchikoshi loves Hiruko. And you can tell that their actual, like, sort of rapport builds on that route and sort of leads to, not really leads to, but ends up being one of the slasher endings as well, because evidently one of those 146 loops involved her getting closer to Takumi. So much so that she did a very bad thing.
Unbelievable, the audacity, right?
Yeah, I know.
Hiruko and Darumi.
Oh, shit. I love that one. Killing Game, come on, like, the Killing Game one, like, solidifies that one so well. Like, Hiruko, even though she puts on that, like, really cold, icy front, she does care. She really cares for her peers. Darumi especially.
True. It's one of my favorites too. This one might be a little bit rare. Hiruko and Takamaru.
It's like a lukewarm kind of skip. I like them together. I think they'd be better as, like, friends. Like, they're bros together. Like, Hiruko can bro out a little bit with him. It's fine. They're great. I don't really see them on a more romantic level, but I think that they just need a bit more time together anyway, and I could be proven wrong.
I'll admit for this next one, I had to go to the shipping wiki to see if it was like an actual thing, but apparently it is a thing.
Okay.
Eito and Hiruko.
Oh, skip.
That's
She
it?
hates him. She really hates him, guys.
Well,
did you
I
all
mean,
not see the scene?
enemies to lovers, you know, you could do that sort of dynamic with them.
I mean, I guess, but like the toxic yawie's right there. Like it's already there. Like she's not gonna ruin it. Come on.
Speaking of toxic yaoi, Takumi and Eito.
Yeah, shit. Even when Takumi's ugly to him, he'll find a way to be gay about it. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Do what you want. And I've not even played or seen the 2 Eito routes in game yet. I'm shoving my partner down those routes after we finish SF.
Yeah, I was watching Weeby News' stream a couple days ago, and like they love Eito and Takumi together, so they need some more content of that.
So good.
The killing game polycule, so that's Takumi, Tsubasa, Darumi, and Yugamu.
Skip. Like,
Really?
that's. I think they all have great chemistry with Takumi.
Fair, absolutely fair.
Like Darumi and Tsubasa, but like Yugamu just like not with the other girls. I don't see that working as a polycule. I think that's more of just a love triangle square situation.
Absolutely fair. Do you have any ships that you found yourself enjoying, or is there any like just anything of that nature?
I think we've kind of listed all the ones that I like enjoy the most. A really dumb one I've brought up is, even though they don't interact enough, unless there's a DLC that makes them interact. Come on, Kodaka. But
We're hoping for that.
Hiruko and Kurara, like they're just two very similar characters, but also very different characters, but also have the same sort of loyalty thing going on. I think they just work well. They just don't interact enough.
That's totally fair. Listen, I'm a big shipper. In the Danganronpa community, like I'm a big fan of like many ships. So when this game came out, you know, I had to make a chart. So I was hoping I could bounce my chart off of you, and you kind of just give like your thoughts on it. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And I'll
Yeah,
put it up
send
for the viewers.
No, I got you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Why is Eito in jail?
Because he that's where he needs to be, man. That's just.
Why is he in gay baby
He's
jail?
he's working on himself. He's working on himself. Let's go with that.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, no, I agree.
Okay.
The Veshness one's very funny. That's the elephant in the room.
I am. Oh my god, I'm a huge fan of Takumi and Veshness together. They enemies to lovers. Mwah.
That's the real enemies to lovers. Yeah, I haven't played the Veshness route, but I have heard it's pretty good.
It is
if you ship
peak.
it.
It is. I think it's probably my second favorite round in the entire game. It is so good. And we just talked about DLC for Underline. So I'm curious if while recording the game, you had ideas for a route or two that you'd like to see in the game potentially.
Not while recording, but after Kodaka announced him wanting to do DLC and stuff, I was like, can we have a musical route? I think it'd be very, very unserious, but I think it'd be very funny to have a musical route.
So like them like becoming the Last of Academy becoming idols and like performing around Futurum, or like elaborate with that.
I mean, either or, like just one of those like kind of like anime tropey like musical episodes where everyone just starts singing. I mean, I'm down to hit every single like coming of age like trope of like a body swap AU, like an Alice in Wonderland episode, the musical episode, all of that, and like other routes that I've thought about is just fleshing out some characters, like a Takamaru like specific route would be great. More official yaoi. Come on, guys, Pride Month. Kodaka had could have been the best marketing strategy of just confirming a yaoi route during Pride Month. Come on.
I think Cult of Takumi Living Idol counts as that. I think. Sure.
A consensual yaoi, a
There
romance
you go.
part 2
There you
route.
go. There you go. There you go.
Romance Part 2, you try and kiss Hiruko, she hits you off the roof, and suddenly everyone's gay. Like, come on.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month, everyone!
True. Okay, so I know you're based in England, and they just wrapped up some kind of soccer league up there. So I'm just curious, if Hiruko had a favorite Champions League team, which would it be and why?
Okay. Champions League. I mean, I feel like I'm biased because I'm from Manchester, but like, probably City. Like Manchester City, I guess. I mean, I don't think she'd all be into like football, soccer. But I mean, I guess I'm just biased, and we'll say like Manchester City.
Is she a bandwagon, or has she been like a diehard for like 20 years?
Oh, diehard. Come on.
So I have this grand plan to interview all of the 100-line voice actors, and it hit me that I could practically ask any question out there. So it got me thinking about something that the Team Fortress 2 community did, which was to have all of their voice actors say their character name and then the word gaming. So I was hoping we could get a couple renditions of the phrase Hiruko Gaming, just as something for the fans.
Sure. Oh god. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Take your time. Just the phrase Hiruko Gaming. Yeah, just the phrase Hiruko Gaming.
It's really awkward because it's kind of close to my normal voice. Hiruko Gaming.
You want to get just a couple, just like a couple takes? I think it's cute, just a little bit.
Sure thing. I'm gonna lower the gain just a little bit as well. Hiruko Gaming.
Ladies and gentlemen, Minh Ton, everybody, thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been an honor. And so I don't have 3 cameras, so I'll just point that camera, or that camera. Let the people know what you got going on in your life.
I mean, under NDA and stuff.
Everything that you can legally share, please.
Legally share? I mean, check out
by the time, yeah, Kumatante is going to be out by this video's release, so.
Kumatante, woo! Check out me, my partner, Joshua Waters, and Elsie, who's also in the game, because I got her the audition.